To the interview room at the World Golf Championships Dell Technologies match play. Scottie, you're entering the week at world #1, defending champ, and in 2 starts, just 2 really impressive finishes with a runner-up in 21 and winning in 22. So just thoughts on this course, being back to defend, and your thoughts on the week.
Good to be back in Austin. One of our favorite places to come visit, definitely one of our favorite tournaments of the year, and looking forward to this week. I love match play. I like the simplicity of it. All you have to do is just go out there and try and beat the guy that's in front of you, and if you don't, you lose, and if you beat him, you win. And so the simplicity of it is what I enjoy, and it's a nice change of pace throughout the year to have match play, and I think it's going to be a fun week, and looking forward to the challenge. I got a good group of guys that I'm playing against in the first 3 matches, and it should be a fun challenge.
And you're coming off of a win at the Players' Championship. It was your 2nd win of the season after WM Phoenix Open. Just give some thoughts on your form and that momentum going into the rest of the season right now.
Form is good. I've had a lot of good finishes this year, which is nice. This calendar year, I've played some really solid golf, and I've been in contention a good amount, and been fortunate to come out with 2 wins. And I'm hoping to continue that trend moving forward. And it's nice being in contention a lot. And yeah, like I said, just hoping to improve on that.
Great. We'll open it up to questions. Raise your hand, and we'll bring your microphone. We'll start with Cameron Morfitt, PGA Tour.
Scottie, I was wondering with this format and how it's obviously a little different from what you guys see week in, week out. Have you, in this tournament, had a day where you played outstanding and didn't really get much out of it, got a tie or a loss? And conversely, have you played sort of mediocre and had a day where you played sort of mediocre and gotten a win out of it, or a half?
Hard for me to remember, but my memories from the tournament last year were I started to play better as the week went on, and so I think I lost my first match, and then I won the next one, and then I won the one on Friday, and then I went out and won the playoff to get into the knockout rounds. And from a lot of what I remember last year was I lost to Tommy, not playing my best golf, and then I started to kind of trend, and then by the time the weekend came around, especially Sunday, I just was playing great. And I think of Sunday's match a lot where I played Kiz, where I just, I didn't really make many mistakes, and I just kind of just kept the pedal down and just played great golf. And I think the year before that I did that maybe on Saturday. I think I played some of my best golf. I know I think I beat Poulter and Rahm maybe in the same day, and I just played really good. I made a bunch of birdies. The golf course was playing easy, and I just remember playing great golf. I don't remember playing any bad or mediocre golf or how it was rewarded. I remember those 2 kind of last year playing really good, and then I remember the Saturday the year before that where I just played some really great golf.
Shane?
Scottie, if you could wave a magic wand, would you bring match play back for 2025? In your opinion, would this be a good part of the schedule?
I think so, but it's a selfish opinion on my part. I love Austin. I love this tournament, the city, and like I said, it's our favorite tournament of the year, so I would love to have it back, but it's pretty obvious at this point that it's not going to happen. Throughout the year, I think match play is a good change of pace commercially. I don't know how well it works when it comes to TV and only having so many guys on the golf course on the weekend. And so we'll see what happens in the future. I think the tour is doing a really good job of making the right business decisions for us. And as a player, I obviously have a biased opinion. I have a second and a first here, and so I would love to see this tournament continue to come back, but I don't make the decisions around here.
A quick follow-up. A lot of the people say, it's tough on Sundays because you never know who you're going to get. Have you been surprised, and I know you're included in this group, by just how good the finals and semifinals have been the last few years? It feels like there's really not been one where it's like, this is kind of a dud.
So, sorry, what's the question?
Have you been surprised by how well this tournament has done at getting the top players into the finals and semifinals, where it could be the opposite? I
don't think surprised would be the right word. I think when the guys that are the most talented and that work the hardest are out there playing their best, that they're going to be there at the end. Match play is such a funny deal because, hypothetically, you get the number 64 player in the world, and he shows up, and he's playing Rory McIlroy. And you got to get inside that guy's head of who's number 64 in the world and whether or not he believes he can really beat Rory McIlroy or Jon Rahm or whoever it is. And some guys don't have that belief and some guys do. And so that's why sometimes you have the surprises. But it's also those guys that have the belief that they can be the best and beat the best. And so those are the guys that you're also going to see down the road that are maybe turn into a Rory McIlroy or something like that. And so when it comes to these leaderboards, I think no matter what, when you're playing golf, you get rewarded for playing good golf. And we have a very deep tour with a lot of talented guys. And when you're playing really good golf out here, you're going to get rewarded for it no matter what.
Fergie?
I just wanted to follow on Shane's question from what seems like an hour ago. If this thing were to come, if you took a pulse of kind of the players and this thing came back as a non-elevated event, what would be the appeal? Do you think enough guys would want to play? On the one hand, you've got a change of pace, as you mentioned, and something different. On the other hand, you've got the, it's kind of a weird week. It's either a short one or a long one. Do you think guys would show up?
That's a good question. I haven't really asked too many guys what their opinions are. I know this is a tournament in the past where a lot of guys have always showed up. Yeah, it's always WGC, and so who knows? I think I would show up. Obviously depends on scheduling and what part of the year it's in, but match play is fun. I really enjoy it. The only negative is, like you said, sometimes you could play golf that's good enough to finish maybe top 10 or top 15 in a tournament, and you get into a tough bracket. I think there was one year here where Maverick McNeely played like some insane golf. Y'all would remember better than me, but I think Maverick one year played some pretty insane golf and didn't make it out of his group, and he would have made it out of every other group. But then again, if you're playing the best golf, you're going to get rewarded for it. And so usually I think the guy who wins this tournament at the end of the week is the one who played the best golf and probably would have won stroke play anyways. It's just match play is a little bit different, but I think the guys playing the best golf do what they have to do to win the match and win the tournament, and I think it's a good format. Yeah, it's a little funky, but change of pace.
Kirk Bowles?
Hey, Scotty. Now that you don't drink coffee, you expect every other golfer to give up coffee now during tournament play? I know. Oh, so now you're drinking until Wednesday?
Yeah, till Wednesday.
Do you feel like you're playing better golf this year than even last year? How would you compare it, the level of your play?
It's hard to say. I think if you looked at a deep dive into my stats, you may find a little something there. I feel like I'm playing good golf. I think I'm hoping that I'm a little bit better than I was last year. That's always the goal, is just to keep trying to improve a little bit at a time. And right now, like I said, I've been playing so solid that I'm not doing a whole lot of, I think, reflecting. I think right now I'm just trying to stay present and continue to work on the things that I've been working on, and just hope to continue to see improvement in those areas and then go from there.
And what do you look to sustain that level of play? You know, guys like Tiger were great his whole career. Brooks Koepka was great for a few years. What, in your mind, is the key to sustaining that level of play? Is there any secret to it?
I think if there was a secret, you would have seen a lot more guys do it than just Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. It's a tough question, and it's different for everybody. I think I've developed a good recipe for good golf out here, and that'll be something that I'm going to try to not change in the future. I have the same coach since I was young, Randy Smith. He's taught me since I was probably 7 years old. I have the same trainer that I've had since I was in high school. My manager I've known my whole life. I have a great team of people around me that help keep me grounded and help me be able to go out here and do my best and not think about all the other stuff. I can go out here and focus on golf and just go out and play. And so I have a great team around me that's helping me do that, and just going to kind of stick to the program that we've been doing for years and go from there.
Rex?
Scotty, growing up, I don't know how much golf you watched, but what did the WGCs mean to you? Were they different? Were they special? Did they stand out?
I thought they were. Growing up, I always thought it was really cool to kind of get the best players in the world together. The part that didn't make a lot of sense to me about the WGCs was all the other tours that were out here. I always found that part to be a little bit interesting. I understand it's a World Golf Championship and you want to get the best players from the world, but I think the PGA Tour has always been a place where those players gathered. And for instance, when I was coming off the Korn Ferry Tour and I looked at some of the fields in the WGCs, and they were getting guys from, I hate to pick on the Sunshine Tour, but Sunshine Tour, like Australasian Tour, there was a lot of ancillary tours out there that were getting into these events, and I was like, well, I'm playing here in the States, and I'm playing really good. Like, we should also get an opportunity, and I think right now is you're seeing the PGA Tour now will be kind of controlling a little bit more of who's going to get into those fields, and so I think the WGC fields are going to only get better, and now our elevated events are more like kind of WGCs.
And I apologize if you've already been asked this, but have you taken a scouting trip to Augusta National?
I did.
What did you think of the changes on 13?
It's longer. It's a lot longer.
Harder, easier?
I mean, definitely harder. I think with modern technology and that tee shot, I used to hit 3-wood there because I can sling hook a 3-wood. I can't sling hook a driver on purpose. The ball just doesn't spin enough. I can do it on accident, but I can't quite sling it on purpose. Usually, because I like to fade my driver more off the tee, and so when it comes to that tee shot and hitting a hard hook with the driver is not really a shot that I'll try, just because it's not worth the risk for me. And that hole was one where I'd hit the same shot I hit on 10. The 3-wood, it has enough spin where the ball can actually stay in the air. With the driver, when I hook it, the ball doesn't have enough spin to where it can stay in the air and hook that much. It kind of nosedives. But the 3-wood, I can set up there and it'll just be like a boomerang. But that's really the biggest change for me. Now I'll just hit driver kind of out towards the corner and try and use more of the contouring to get the ball that way versus before. I guess I should say it this way. My driver is now going where my 3-wood kind of used to go. My 3-wood, I could maybe get it a little bit further around the corner, but my driver's now going to where that 3-wood was going before.
A couple more right here in the back.
Being a former golfer for UT, do you feel more comfortable playing in Austin compared to other areas?
I definitely feel more comfortable visiting Austin. I know where I like to eat. I know where I like to stay. We got great friends that live here and that we can spend time with. And so when it comes to all the other stuff around a tournament, this tournament's one of our favorites just because of the people we get to spend time with throughout the week. And it's just good catching up with friends and eating early dinners with them and then kind of sticking to my routine. Usually we'll go out to dinner at tournaments, and it's usually just, Meredith and me and a couple of our tour friends. And so it's nice coming this week and seeing some good buddies from college and people that I haven't seen in a little while and going out and spending some time with them.
Todd?
Hey, Scottie, for the Champions Dinner during the Masters Week, we've heard a lot of players say that are going to be at that dinner. They're there to celebrate you. Have you thought about the emotions you will have in that room talking to all the past champions?
That's a tough one. I guess I'll put it this way. When we went to Augusta last week, that was really one of the first times where winning the Masters felt real because we got back on property. I'd just come off the win at the Players, and so our celebration kind of was just going to play Augusta, and that was really one of the first times where it felt real that I'd won the Masters. And so when it comes to Tuesday night and being there in that dinner and talking to everybody else who's won that tournament in the past, it'll be pretty special. It'll definitely be emotional for me. I'm going to try and hold back the tears, but I think it'll just be a really, really cool experience. One of the greatest fraternities in golf to be in that room, and it's going to be really special. I don't know exactly what I'll feel like, but it'll definitely be really special.
To follow up, can you go into a little more detail about how you developed the menu?
Yeah, I think it was Blake, Meredith, and me one day. We were kind of sitting around, and it was like, okay, well, it's probably time to figure out the menu. And we kind of went like, all right, well, what are your favorite foods? And it was like, well, Meredith and I just started listing them off. It was like, well, steak, burgers, fried shrimp, mac and cheese, jalapeno cream corn. Like, I just went through all the list, and we got basically all the foods. And it's like, okay, what could we actually do? And we kind of narrowed it down a little bit, and then talked to the chef at Augusta, who kind of is the professional in the room because I'm definitely not a professional when it comes to this stuff. And he kind of helped us put it together, and I think we did a good job. It's definitely not going to be on any nutritionist plan, but we're going to have fun. We're going to eat some good food.
We'll finish up with
Have
one
you
last.
gotten any indication that you're going to have to pay for this? You're getting the bill?
I'm pretty sure I'm getting the bill.
Okay. Just want to make sure you knew.
Yeah.
Back to the golf course. I actually wanted to go back to 11, as much attention as there is on 13, because there's a lot of talk now about trees and tree removal, etc. When you get to 11, does that change your thinking on the tee shot with the fewer trees there on the right than used to be?
Yes. When you hit it, so when I first started in the tournament, there was all the trees. And in years past, there wasn't all the trees there. That was kind of a new addition when I first started playing in the tournament. And I think what they're trying to do now is still give an opportunity to hit a great shot. Because, I mean, that's a really special hole with the way the green is shaped, and you have those two mounds in the front. And before, when you hit up the right, it was kind of an automatic chip out, unless you hit it, like, way, way right. Because then a matter of luck is involved in that. And now there's a little bit less luck involved. Now if you hit over to the right, you're going to be in the fairway still, but you have 3 trees in your way, and you can hit it over the trees, you can hit it under the trees, and it leaves an opportunity for a great shot, whereas before there really wasn't that opportunity. I'm still definitely not trying to hit over there because you can hit a really good shot from that area and just land it a little short of your number and it's going to hit that mound and go into the water. But I think that's kind of what they were trying to do on that hole, was give an opportunity to still have a great shot. I mean, when I think of the Masters, I think of some of the historic shots that have been hit out there, and most of them are from, peculiar areas of the golf course. They're not all necessarily from the center of the fairway, and I think that hole provides another opportunity for a pretty incredible shot.
And then lastly, on the par 4s, which second shot makes you the most nervous or gets your attention the most?
Still 11. I feel like when you're standing up there in the fairway, it kind of almost begs you to hit it at the pin. I don't know what it is about that hole or the way the green is shaped. Maybe it's the way the pond is. I don't know what it is, but it really kind of begs you to hit at the pin. And so I basically just try and stay away from the pin as much as possible.
All right. Thank you so much. Good luck this week.
Thanks.